As new metas develop, hand traps will always lose and gain favor, but in this tier list I'm going to talk you through the best ones right now to use. If you use these hand traps, I guarantee you'll start winning in your locals because they're just so powerful. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm sees us. We're so close to 5 subscribers. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to have a discussion, and let's get into the video. So you want to know about hand traps? Let's talk about in this tier list video. I'm going to start with the Ghost Sisters, who are really prominent in just about every meta, but you'd be surprised at which one is the most powerful in this meta currently, because Tournament is just that strong and there's a lot of graveyard disruption happening in the game right now thanks to the Ishizu card. So let's break down first Ghost Boat and Haunted Mansion. I'm gonna put this in the S tier. I think this card is insane, and if you ever want a good indication of what the best hand traps are in the game, follow the current top players and their deck list. You can see a trend right now. People are favoring the Ghost Spell. This card can stop Bestials, this card can stop the Mudora and Keldor shuffles, and can also stop some Eldritch stuff, which is a very prominent locals deck, so I thought I'd mention it as well. And if you saw my latest video, I also talked about having Ghost Spell as one of the top 5 cards you should pick up right now. Ghost Ogre has fallen in favor in the adventure meta. This card was cracked. It was insane. Against the branded Bestial, it doesn't do anything. Against the tournament deck, it doesn't do anything. Against Flunder, it's insane. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in the D tier. There are punk decks that utilize Ghost Ogre, but I think they do that because they can search it. I don't think it's for any crazy reason. It's not terrible, it's just not the one you want to play at the moment. Another Ghost Sister is Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. This card is actually insane. I can't believe this card exists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Reading its card text, and surprisingly, not many people are running it. If you have a Kit Kalos, banish their Kit Kalos, and tournaments will have a lot of trouble playing the game, but that doesn't mean they can't play the game. So while it has some amazing uses, it doesn't outright win you the game. The mirror match, you can have the most, I guess, usage out of this card. There we go, guys. I'm gonna put Ghost Reaper in A tier. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, I'm gonna put this one in the S tier because of the time rule. This is, I like to call this card the TCG Maxi. You know, it doesn't mean it's a complete replica, but it is close enough. In game 3, when you resolve a Spooky Dogwood on the chain of a special summon, this card automatically kind of just wins you the game, because if your opponent keeps summoning, there's no way they're going to beat you because they're playing turn 1. They can't attack. Think of it like it's an equalizer, which gets you back to 8,000, because every monster they summon, they will attack with those monsters and you just go back to 8,000. Now personally, I'm seeing a lot of branded players when I play in locals and tournaments, so that's why I personally put Ash Blossom in the A tier. I would have put it in an S tier. Yes, it doesn't hurt the tournaments as much, but also hurts the Fluandereeze deck and Exorcista. I think it's a good A tier pick. While yes, there are some other hand traps that are, you know, more unfair, this still does the job, and I think it's really good. I like to think this card is insane, but yeah, because you can only use it on your opponent's turn. However, if you're going second and you side this card in, I think it's going to do a lot more damage, but for now it probably won't do as much, and I'm going to put it in the D tier for now. Druisworm, one of my favorite hand traps to be released. Of course, in Dark and Blast we got the Bestial package. He is going straight in the S tier. This is the definition of power creep. Sorry DD Crow, but Druisworm is just much better. You know that meme where they say, but we have rights at home? That's DD Crow and Druisworm, guys. Having a removal on top of a hand trap effect is disgusting, guys, and it's a link body. It's 2500. It's a level 6, making the Wallow Dragons really easy as well, and it doesn't have many, I guess, restrictions in terms of using its send effect to grave, so you can really abuse that effect. Speaking of Druisworm is Magnamort. He's going to be in A tier. I don't think this card is as crazy as Druisworm. If you're playing a deck like Blue Eyes, which I think Team Samurai did an insane deck profile on, really makes you want to try that deck out. I think the deck like that, Magnamort is cracked. Moving on to Effect Veiler. So this card has been used to start beating Flunder players. Next up is Effect Veiler. So this card is predominantly used to beat the Fluandereeze matchup, and you'll mostly see inside decks for that reason, but it also has great applications against the Rogue matchup. There are a lot of decks that have a crazy link too, and you can use the Effect Veiler. Speaking of cards like Beyond the Pendulum and the DDD Gilgamesh, it is great to hit the Kit Kalos, but it obviously doesn't do the job, but that's fine because you can use it to stop most of what they're trying to do, like the Mill 8 combo, which is actually quite insane, as well as searching the counter trap. So Effect Veiler definitely has uses, and I really like this card. I'm going to put it in the A tier because I think it's insane. When I'm next to Droll and Ockbirds, I'm going to throw this guy straight in the A tier. Tournament still adds cards from their deck to hand. That said, it is not recommended against Tournament, but against other decks like the Draco Slayer, like Fluandereeze, like the Adventure Engine, and other decks that search a lot, this card is insane. This is the one hand trap that ends games ASAP. So if you can run it, try and run it if you have the space. Next up is DD Crow, one of my favorite hand traps, but sadly has been mega power crept by the Bestial card. At the same time though, some decks don't run light or dark, and the Bestials are so useless. So for that reason, DD Crow might have to be, ultimately it does the exact same thing as the Bestial card, because when your opponent does not have a monster on the field, the Bestials are not quick effect, which means they can still fusion summon if they don't have a monster in the field, and that's why Didicro is still legendary. And I'm on to Nibiru. This card has fallen off the meta, no pun intended. This card is a hit and miss, and a lot of people like to say or exclaim that this card is terrible, but ultimately if it does resolve, it's actually insane. If you pair this with another hand trap, you can try and pass their turn because you're going to do a Nib Imperm, a Veiler Imperm, a Morna Chill Imperm. That's why I'm going to put Nibiru in the A tier. And in the Cash Terror format, I think this card is going to see a lot of play. Infinite Permanence is up next, and I'm going to throw this in the A tier. You're noticing there's a lot of A tier hand traps here, and you might be right. But ultimately, a lot of these just are really effective. Great to take out the Barrier Statue when you're going second. I've decided to run this as a hand trap and put it in the tier list. I don't think many people are, but guys, this is definitely a hand trap. If your opponent sends a card from, I believe, the hand or deck to grave, this card will trigger and bounce the card to the hand and then special summon itself. That's really good. That is not a bad effect at all. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh means that Kelbeck will always have a chance to resolve, so that's why it's going to be in the A tier. Next up is Ghost Morna and Moonlit Chill. So this card is really great. It does similar applications to the Infinite Permanent and the Effect Failure, but it has the added effect of burning the opponent, meaning you can also win in time. However, this card can only activate on the summon window of a special summon monster, so there are ways to dodge it, and for that reason I'm going to throw this in the B tier. Skullmaster is another great card. Let's just throw this in the A tier. It's very similar to the Ghost Spell, but it does lose on some applications, so I'm going to put this in the A tier. Chaos Hunter is just going to go in the C tier. I don't think this card is really that strong at the moment, but it's great in some uses where you know the opponent is playing D-Shifter and other banished cards, so Chaos Hunter can stop that, and as a Terran player you can combo up. In the Cash Terror format, I think this card is actually going to be really nice. If you're not expecting this card, I think it does more damage than it generally does. Herald of Orange Light is basically Cyframe Gear Gamma, but a fairy version. They even have similar art. Herald of Orange Light is actually really tough to decide which tier goes into. I'm going to put this in the A tier because yes, while it is limited, it's limited for a reason. Let's not forget that as well. But also, you need another fairy in hand to resolve this card. I'm going to put that in the A tier for now, because Terra Element issues, you can definitely still run this card. Cyframe Gear Gamma able to bring out a level 6 monster from the deck, and on your turn potentially going to level 8 synchro is actually pretty crazy. Ultimately, this card does need you to run a vanilla break. Because of that reason, I don't think this can go in the S tier. What's great about Cyframe Gamma is its ability to follow the negation, so that's another strong reason why this card is in the A tier. The only other drawback is it can get chain blocked. On second thought, I've changed the hand trap tier list around again, because yes, while Kelbeck and Drone Lockbird are insane cards, they're not as consistent as the other hand traps in the game right now. Because we're in a Terra Element dominant format, I'm waiting to be convinced that these cards are S tier insane. Other cards I was considering were nothing in the S tier. I think S tier is insane. Maybe Effect Veiler should be in the B tier because it is locked onto the opponent's main phase. However, it doesn't clash with the Bestials, so it's a matter of deck preferences and deck chemistry, because ultimately if you are running the Bestials, then maybe you might want to run the Effect Veiler instead of the Infinite Permanence. And guys, that's been the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the tier list video. Make sure to comment down below what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the Kelbeck. I think that's the one to watch out for. I think the rest, in my opinion, are actually quite solid. Maybe Nibiru should drop down as well. Had a lot of fun doing this. Guys, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.